Welcome to the Rockhound Podcast. We just literally had a 40-minute conversation before we hit the record button. So you guys missed out on all great kinds of conversations. Anyways, welcome. And Karen, take it away.
Hey, warm welcome to all of you, especially those of you that are just tuning in for the first time. Make sure to subscribe, and all y'all rest of you, make sure to tell a friend to come on over and check out the podcast. We're so close to 1,000 subs. Thank you so much for that. And also, we'd love to know where you're joining us from. So if you don't mind putting that in the comments, let us know who you are, where you're joining us from, and what are you up to? Are you at work? Are you listening while you're rock hounding, doing something secret? We can, we'll keep it secret for you. Just leave it in the comments.
That's classified.
I'm very good at keeping secrets.
All right. And I am Karen from Ozone Fine Art Ventures out here on the beautiful Oregon coast. Kurt?
My name is Kurt with Rock.Hounding.Adventures out here in Western Colorado where it's nice and warm.
This week I'm Rufio and my channel is the Dante Vasco Fan Club.
Welcome. You will never age. Anyway.
Exactly.
And I am Kyle with World of Rock Hounds. And that was our introductions. Karen, do you have any shouts from last week?
We do. Sweet. First of all, I'd love to, and we'd all love to thank Jared for coming on to the podcast again. I think he's our guestliest guest. Yep. Yeah, he's been on.
Can we make that a shirt? Our guestly of guests.
Sure. Not a bad idea there at all. And so thank you. It's always a pleasure and totally enlightening to have him on. I feel so like IQ points higher every single time that he sits down with us. Dustin thinks that Kurt and Jared are onto something with the flamethrower. He rationalizes that hydro mining is a thing, so why not pyro mining? Yes, I love it. And Dustin, when a hound walks in with an itty bitty case and polished calves in your face, you need to bust that jam for us.
Do it. Do it. Just do it.
Sandmaker listened to all 4 of Jared's and Sarah's new podcast and said they were good. So it's got the Sandmaker stamp of approval. So you need to go out there and listen to it. Also, it's the previously Rock Hounding podcast available on all the podcasts platforms. Clear Crystal Vibes with Mary Beth is also digging the new podcast. Plus now she's awaiting an old set of lapidary journals of her own. She's probably going to start a podcast there too, huh?
Do it.
So cool. Yep. Also, she thought Kurt looked really different shaved.
Oh yeah, I do.
But now it's growing back.
I know.
Kinda, yeah.
It's already back to normal.
Got too used to the tiger stripes.
Oh, it's coming.
I can't growl.
That was terrifying.
Yeah, it was.
From who exactly?
All right. Allison Mineral Lands stated Jared's organizational skills are on point. Those micro mounts were absolutely such a cool way to organize and present the small minerals. So if you haven't checked that out, check out last week's podcast because it was all about how you can mount your tiny little specimens and make them precious. Have you guys made yours yet? Anybody?
I was gonna say even us hosts are micro mounted if you guys didn't pay close enough to the thumbnail.
Yeah.
We are micro mounted on that thumbnail.
Little Dr. Shrinker moment. And Geo Rock Nerd said that there's an entire section of geochemistry dedicated to fluid inclusion studies from crystals. So Kyle's on hydro crystals and all y'all, of course, Kurt's as well. It counts if it's empty. So she says that if you heat a crystal with an anhydro until the bubble becomes one phase, like the bubbles and the gases inside, you now have the temperature at which the crystal was formed. And
cool.
There's other things that you can derive from that science. And so I pleaded with her that she needs to come back on the podcast and tell us more stories.
That's cool.
So you heard that, Nira. You need to come. Julie McKenna, Great Fulm 3, City Rock Hounding, Tarnished Viking, Matthew Sam Savage, and Michael Robertson all dug it. And we did a new thing during the course of this week. We made a midweek shortcut of the podcast. It was like an 8.5 minute highlight from last Friday's podcast with Jared. Question for you. Do you want a highlight? Did you dig it? Did you watch it? Would you like to see like a favorite clip again? Or if you haven't listened or watched the podcast, would it be valuable to have a sneak peek or a shortened version that you can check it out and know if you want to listen to the rest of it or what have you? So I'm dying to know. Let us know in the comments. It's really valuable for us to know if we should continue doing something like that. So you can go dig it up and see if that was delightful for you. City Rock Hounding, Largent, and Sandmaker. Oh, and Bob's Rocks. They went and chimed in on how they liked it already. So thank you. And them's the shouts.
Thank you, Karen. I'll say our Discordian friends could also kind of, if they have like certain clips that are their favorites, we might be able to pick a few of those and have those on the midweek roll. So if that's a
great
thing,
idea.
yeah, let us know. Like for again, our Discordian friends or even anyone that's watching, send us an email of your favorite clip and just like let us know like the timestamp, and we might be able just to add it in for like a little clip. So
For some reason, my brain didn't hear the word email. It heard send us an emo.
Emo. I'm an emo kid.
Somebody with really long bangs, like telling us like which one they wanted to see.
Oh, I meant Nemo, like the fish.
And I heard emo. Yeah.
Send in your clownfish.
So what we need to do now is we need to have a thumbnail with a clownfish that has the hairstyle.
Nemo with the hair. Yes.
I can do that.
If that's not in the thumbnail, I quit.
People are gonna be like, "What? Why is that in the thumbnail?"
Emo
I quit rocks.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Ooh,
Anyways, how was everyone's weeks?
That's a loaded question, sir.
Oh gosh. Should I go? Should
Yeah,
I
you can go
just
first.
jump right in there? I was excited because I got down on the beach and got to go for a beach hunt, and it was, in between hails and all kinds of storm situation, and I found a few things, but the weirdest thing that I found was like this Frankenstein microorganism that was in a dry concretion. And I opened it up and found a little bone and put it under the microscope, and it was just sandy and I couldn't see it very well. So I added water, and all of a sudden these little things came to life.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
is so cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's at the end of the video. If you guys need to scrub through the rest of the beach hunt and just check out their microorganisms, they came to life before my very eyes. It was
That's insane.
insanity.
I'll
I
go
knew
check that out.
tardigrades did do that, but I didn't know there's a lot of other stuff that does it.
There aren't a lot of other things that do it. These are rotifers, and they actually are one of the only organisms that can survive complete dehydration. And so they found some in Siberian ice that was something like 24,000 years old, and they were able to rehydrate them, and they were like, hello. And so my guys could be like contemporary, or they could have been from that fossil, which is my idea because I dug it out of the concretion.
That is
So
awesome.
my mind. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say.
Cue
monumental
the
moment.
Jurassic Park music.
Yeah, that was in the comments. People were like, whoa. And I guess I gave a bunch of people the heebie-jeebies. So I'm sorry.
Science.
Yeah.
After
Because, all of a sudden
recording,
you're
I'm gonna
seeing
check it
these,
out.
squirmy things. And like, they were going, Karen, like, you've got like weird. Yeah. Anyway, they are not harmful to humans, just so that everybody knows, no matter how old they are. And so
you haven't weaponized them yet?
not yet. They need laser beams, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I found a shell during that very same hunt, and I was asking folks if I should prep it or if I should cut it. And that short is coming out tomorrow. And High Tech sent me a water pump system. So I get to play with that on that over the weekend with some of that petrified wood and get some polishing going. And so that video should come out sometime either over the weekend or the beginning of next week. My house has been dog sick, and I'm not talking about my dogs being sick. Steve and I have been totally sick. And so, yeah, we have like fevers and stuff right now.
I'm sorry.
You're like, at this very moment.
I feel great.
And so all that stuff was going on with me, like, you know, in a weird, like fever dream, you know, going at the speed of molasses. So that was my week. How about you, Kurt?
Well, I posted a video last Monday. I do not remember what it was. I'm trying to figure it out right now. I've been very spacey this
It was
week.
acid.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
right.
Don't be tripping.
Because that's
What
how I
was it?
feel like I am. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it was the soaking of the muriatic acid with the different agate, jasper, and so forth. Yeah, I've been doing that. What?
I said I love me some muriatic.
Yeah, I've been
Helps so
using
much.
it all week on different things, on shells, thanks to Theo, and I have a big, huge piece of agate that I found out in Bangs Canyon last summer, soaking in it right now, trying to see what it's going to look like. So that'll be interesting. I've also been, since the weather has been nice, no more cold weather, hopefully. It's been staying in the high 60s and mid 70s, and it should be like that through next week too. So hopefully that was the last of the cold weather. And I was able to get out and do some yard work. And today, actually, we went out on a small hike. And I've been getting the question of, like, what do you take out? Eat, like, what do you take out for snacks, or what do you eat before you go rock hounding? Or if you go out on a full day rock hounding, what do you take to eat? So that's what my video will be this upcoming week. Just some helpful tips on some good foods to snack on while you're out rock hounding. So, but
on that subject, I get so much flack from Alexis because my answer to that question is I don't.
Yeah, me neither. I don't stop.
Oh.
I don't.
And then, you know, you're all like,
I bring snacks and water, and then none of them get touched until I'm done because my focus is just like laser focused. And then I'm starving and feast like I don't know, some kind of animal when I get home.
Yeah.
Don't watch me.
I'm so dainty.
Like shamelessly just, you know, eating a steak like it's a burger.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of right there with y'all. Sometimes, but if I go out on a full day, like I'm out 8 hours, I'll take some food and snacks with me. If you're out hiking or digging, work up a sweat and so forth. But I just realized I forgot to add one thing in there, which I may put at the very bottom of the in a text. Whatever you take in, make sure you take out.
Yes.
Because I forgot to mention that. Yeah. But basically, that was my week. So
Awesome.
yeah. So Rufio?
Long or short? Trick question, because we just got back from Florida like 2 days ago? It's Thursday, so yeah, 2 days ago. So my week has been nuts, been going nonstop, and I'm exhausted and very jet lagged and very tired, and it's been crazy. Lots of good, lots of exciting. A little bad, but I'll talk about that next week.
No spoilers for this one.
Yeah, no spoilers. Yeah.
Blur it out.
But I mean, I actually got a really nice surprise when I got home from Florida because I hit 20,000 subscribers yesterday.
Congratulations.
If I was in my garage, I'd have those little poppers because I saw some in the cupboard.
Oh, yeah, we should have done that.
I still can. Post edit.
Just edit in a little clip of you doing it.
Yeah.
I will actually. Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa.
So I don't want to talk too much about it because minor spoilers. We'll be talking about that next week in detail, more detail than I'm going to do right now. But I mean, we did lots of rock hunting. We did lots of fossil hunting. We did lots of shark teeth hunting, which kind of is, fossils. I guess that falls into that same category. We went shelling. We went fishing. We explored like the entirety of the northern peninsula of Florida. It was crazy. We were all over the place. And I probably got like a total of 3 full nights of sleep the whole time we were gone.
Party up in there.
Yeah, it was madness. But yeah, I'll talk about all that next week. We have other things to focus on this week. So
Okay.
So yeah.
So thank you all for your weeks, and mine. I'm gonna keep it really short because I'm probably just doing videos on them here soon. I made a purchase. Don't worry, it's not rocks. It's not rocks.
Related.
It is related to rocks, but it's not rocks. So I'll do a video on that here soon. And then I finished sorting all my rocks on that side of the house, and I found something really cool on the pile. And I'm not gonna do any kind of spoilers. I almost did tonight. I'm like, no, I'll wait. No, excuse me. But it was really cool. I'll do a small spoiler. It fluoresced underneath of a UV light, and it really popped out of the entire pile. It was like, boom, it was there. So that is going to be a video here soon. And then, oh gosh, I had it and I lost it.
Help him. Just help them like you help him.
I forgot.
What is he thinking?
There's something about rice, I'm sure.
No, I forgot what it was. It's fine now.
No.
But is this gonna bug me now? Like I can't know what it was.
Do it. Just blurt it out when it comes to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be
It's like
in
middle of the
whatever.
podcast. Yeah, exactly.
You have to make sure you yell over whoever's talking.
Oh yeah.
It's at a loss now. That's okay though, because we have a lot to talk about. Because we are going to do a brief recap of everyone's Makers Challenge products now that Theo is here. So, shall we start off with Katie did?
Sure.
Yeah. So Kate did an amazing sculpted mug with a stone right smack right in the middle of it. Just that was cool.
Well, she did a whole herd of them. You know, like there
She did
were
more.
They're
many.
really, really good at pottery. I love seeing. Actually, you know what? Time out. I'll be right back.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say now.
You gotta leave this part in when they're both gone. So
No, I'll leave.
just wait until they come back and one of them starts talking and then blurt it out.
Okay, I'll wait till I get back, but I'll tell you really quick. Did you watch Jared's latest video at all?
The special?
No, he. Okay, I'll wait.
Okay,
It's cool.
That way.
So I remembered what it was. I'm waiting for Theo to get back so I can just kind of blurt out really quick of what it was.
Did you remember what it was?
I remember what it was.
Oh.
Don't forget.
Okay, Theo, before
He's
you show the what you're gonna show, I remembered what it was. So this is just a quick shout out to Jared over in his channel. So a while back, I sent him an hydro and told him that some of it had evaporated out of it somehow, and he did it. He actually added water to the anhydro. And I think it was like I think it ended up being like 1.5 grams worth of water. He actually was able to get back in there, and it was through a process of like a pressure pot, basically, or like a vacuum chamber. But so for anyone's watching, go check out the video that he posted. And so this is coming out Friday, so it actually would have been posted Thursday. So go watch that video. Do it. Okay.
I will. His video and Karen's video.
Yeah.
Watch.
Okay, Theo. Okay, go ahead.
And yours.
Yeah.
Acid.
Oh, right.
Kate made me this. Yeah.
Aw, look at that.
That's
Is
so
so
cool.
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's probably inverted. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It says OS, but
That's cool.
That shall be his name.
yeah. OS. No, Kate's really like fantastic at pottery, and I actually got a kiln from her, so I need to start doing that. But yeah, she's
You are
she's
like
crazy good.
this like magnet for other people's expensive tools, man. Like, oh, I just got a kiln.
Actually, I got two.
No big deal.
I actually got two, and the I don't have 220 outlets at the shop,
yeah.
so I can't use either of them.
Oh,
So
that's
one of them
bummer.
is coming home, and the other one is getting converted into a forge.
Nice.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, I'm very
I
excited.
vote for
about
that. That is
Yeah.
very cool. All right.
But no, sorry, tangent over.
Yeah.
I loved seeing her project because it was such an amazing combination of like two passions that just came together in like such an awesome, unique way. Like
Yeah.
settings inside of pottery. That's just awesome. It's genius.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
just
like-
really happy to see it work because I know she like, gosh, that must have been over a year ago. I remember she made a video trying to do it and it didn't work. So I was excited to see that it worked for her this time.
Yeah.
They looked so cool.
Yeah, it really was.
See here, and then right after Kate, because these are all like posted like there's 2 a day, and what we'll do, we'll actually put the links to everyone's to the entire Makers Challenge process, or to everyone's videos in the description of this video. So after the podcast, you can just go check out the people's.
I could send you the link to the playlist too. I have a playlist on my channel of all the videos in order.
We'll do that. Yeah.
I was gonna say that might be a lot faster for you.
just click on that playlist and just let it play.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Grab-
every Makers Challenge video in order.
Grab some popcorn, a drink, and settle in because it's gonna be
Yep.
a wild ride. But yeah. So then next was Kurt's project. Kurt, do you want to go ahead and talk about that since you're the man of that?
So for my project, I took a piece of picture jasper, which is basically nature's artwork. And if anyone knows my profession, it's custom picture framing. I've been doing that for the past 13 years. So I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, where I frame or shadow box some stone or picture jasper, basically. So that's exactly what I did. I had a frame that I made back when I was out working in Austin, Texas, about 3-4 years ago, and it's just been traveling around with me. And I figured this is the perfect frame for this piece. The colors went along great with it, and I had my family ship me some of my tools, materials back from the storage unit back in Texas, and I took those, cut them up, and put it all together. So I can either show it now or I can show it for show and tell.
No,
This is show and
show it now.
This
Yeah,
is show and tell. Here,
Right.
I was gonna say I
So-
thought it was awesome how unplanned, totally unplanned. Day one was
Wow.
two people mixing their like expertises.
Yeah, that is
Like,
fantastic.
So like
It's
I was
so
originally I was originally wanting to use black for the back, a black suede, but I just couldn't get any of that at the time. And I'm planning on ordering more material so I can do more of these with other slabs of picture jasper. But I ended up using a brown mocha suede acid-free matting, and just using acrylic, which is basically plexiglass, but in the framing world we call it acrylic because it's better and stronger quality than just plexiglass. And the stone is lifted. I cut out some mat boards, lifted it off the back so that way it looks like it's giving the floating illusion. It just gives it a little bit of depth, even though it's just a basic frame. It's not an actual shadow box frame. But building the walls on the inside just gives it about a 1/16 of an inch sitting off of the glass, so that way it's not touching and has some decent depth. So it turned out way better than I was expecting, and hopefully plan on having a lot more of these in the near future. So
Beautiful.
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So cool.
Yeah.
You did a great job on that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
want to do that to your play button like really badly.
You can do
That's a
it.
great idea.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to ship it to you so you can do that.
Okay.
And
Let me just get the proper materials in that I want to get. I'll let you know.
okay. Yeah, be nice to be able to frame it.
We can do a collab.
Okay.
Yeah, the moment I watched that video, I was like, dude, I have to do this. That looks so cool.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe
and
when
the
you
uplifted. It looks
maybe when
awesome.
you do that, maybe the play button video will actually take off this time. Like, oh man, that's so cool! Or play button that rocks. Out of advance for bone and fire obsidian. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, thank you for your project, and again, awesome job.
Thank you, Theo, for letting me take part of it.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah. Thanks, Theo.
thanks, Theo.
Aw.
Of
Aw.
course.
Aw.
Yes. So now we go on to Monday, April 4th. We had Montana Rock Mom with her scenic agate.
Yeah, that was incredible.
beautiful.
That was
So
a
cool.
surprise. Like,
Yeah,
I had no idea, that just was an interesting concept altogether. And then as it was going in there, I was just like, I don't know. I couldn't visualize what it was going to be like,
Yep.
And then,
Yep.
when she finished it, I was like, oh, everybody is going to want one of those. Like, that is so cool.
It's so
with
cool.
the foliage and everything,
Yeah.
and I gotta say her video too, with all of the scenery and the fact that she was kind of conveying what she wanted to embrace with the project, like the whole storytelling, everything was just like, she knocked it out of the park. I
It
love
was
that.
perfectly
Yeah.
done.
And I loved that first one especially. I told her that if she ever gets rid of it, I want it. I've got dibs on it because
If
it
she
literally
gets
looks
rid of it.
like an old, like really old traditional style Japanese painting of like Mount Fuji, and I love it. I instantly fell in love with that one because she showed them to me while they were still curing. Because she showed me when we went over to do slabbing, and yeah, I was hooked on those things. I'm happy to say I own one of those slabs because she gave me some of her scrap. Whenever I go over to Kim's, she just sends me home with a box full of stuff, and it's like,
Aw.
I feel like that's what us Rockhounds.
shout out to Kim.
do.
We
Yeah.
love you, Kim. Come on the show.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
We won't bite, I promise. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. I've always wanted to try experiment with epoxy or resin, but it's weird. There's some things I'll do like without even questioning it, but like working with that kind of material, like I'm always worried that I will mess something up.
I love resin. It's so nice to work with.
Yeah, I should try sometime.
It's one of those things that's like really intimidating until you do it for the first time, and then the moment you do it for the first time, your brain just flips a switch, and you're like, "Oh, I want to do more. I gotta do more of it. It's so much fun."
Yeah, I should do it.
You should. You totally should. You could make some
Right.
awesome stuff.
Be one of those things that might be a little dangerous too. It's like, okay, now I can do this. What else can I do?
Well, and you can polish them like rocks, so you can actually like shape it. Like once you do your cast, you can actually shape it and like use an abrasive paste and polish it. So with your polishing skills, you could probably get it like ridiculously clear.
Like obsidian clear.
Yeah. Like resin is awesome. I think more people should work with resin. It's so much fun.
Do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Words of wisdom right there.
Do it.
Go play with
Do it.
resin.
And then following Montana Rock Mom on Monday was Rock and Road Rock Hounding, and she did an entire state out of the minerals that came out of that state.
Mhm.
That was something.
That was
That
very, very
Geologic
creative.
map was amazing. I loved it. It's such a cool concept to literally have a piece of like each formation, like taking that spot. Oh, it was so cool. That is a
Yeah.
great idea.
Genius.
That was.
It'd be really cool to see the entire United States out of
It
like.
would.
But I can imagine.
I can imagine her eye roll, right? Because she like this was one of the videos where she also let us have a look at she had some struggles, it wasn't just smooth sailing the whole time, and I really appreciate when somebody shows that
Yes.
this
Oh, yeah,
this was
definitely.
not a walk in
Absolutely.
the park,
And
so.
I think it's important for most creators to also kind of show that more often. Like it's hard to to really show like the bad sides of what you're doing,
Yeah.
but it's also important to show like, hey, it's not as easy as it might seem, or sometimes it is, but
Yeah.
there will be hard times where like I don't know, like the Opal video. I still haven't touched the Opal this weekend. I was going to. I'm like, no, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing it. And
You guys aren't speaking yet.
yeah.
We're not on terms right now.
Yeah, no, Opal and I are definitely not on speaking terms right now. It's one of those things like I'm probably gonna leave in like my issues and my frustrations in that video to show like it happens. And
Yep.
I think more creators should do that. So it's more realistic and not like, okay, look, 5 seconds, boom, it's polished and it's perfect.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
No, I wholeheartedly agree, and I may, if there are any mistakes, like I leave them in, because I think it sets an unrealistic precedent when you are teaching, especially in like tutorial videos and stuff like that. If you make it look like nothing bad will ever happen, people don't know how to handle the roadblocks when something inevitably doesn't go right. So it's one of the reasons I love like carving and making stuff in general, is because it's just as much like an exercise in problem solving as it is, making something cool.
Yeah.
Like speaking of resin, for example, I had one video where I didn't read instructions.
Instructions.
Well, I was using the wrong kind of resin. You're only supposed to like go an inch max depth, and I literally filled like a large like cup container like this big, because I carved I cast a pine cone of resin and then carved it into a ball of fire. But yeah, so 1 inch max, I poured like 8-inch depth, and it literally started boiling, like rolling boil and smoking, and it's supposed to take 72 hours to fully cure. It was fully rock hard cured in like an hour because the activator was just going crazy. So you just roll with the punches and show those mistakes, because nobody that makes stuff like does everything perfect every single time.
Wasn't supposed to be an actual ball of flame.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean to go that literal.
So yeah, I guess it's a challenge to all the creators that are watching this video to include your mistakes, include the problems, because we want to see how you overcome those roadblocks.
It's like I always say, fail forward.
Like when you're showing your mistakes, it helps you, like, so that way it doesn't happen in the future. But also, like, whenever someone's watching your video, to like kind of do like a step-by-step, like they're doing it exactly what you're doing, and then if you accidentally mess up and you don't show it and you just skip it, they may, the person watching that's doing it too, if they mess up strictly because of your video, and then you just like don't show what you do next, it can really mess up other people's projects and so forth. So it really helps showing your mistakes and showing how to fix those mistakes or get past them.
Because mistakes are
part of the process.
Mistakes are learning opportunities.
Yes, they are also inevitable.
Yeah. But and then
that brings us to Tuesday.
Tuesday was Ozone Fine Art Ventures, and she made a lamp.
Weird. So there it is, and it was one of those challenges. It was like the maker's challenge. I stepped out of my box and made a box, but it was difficult. It was kind of like the Rocktopus that was a way bigger format than I had ever tried. And I love wood and working with wood, but I'm not a woodworker and don't have the tools yet to do so. And so making that many slabs and having to polish that many slabs and then drilling all those slabs and then figuring out how like that whole idea is like 10% and then 90% is like trying to like wrap some kind of logistic around it and engineer. And so how to create the light and have the light play through the stones and have it not what's holding the stones not impede that dance. And so looking for the aesthetic that created the superstar being the stone, and just Kurt, you'll probably appreciate this. Back in the day that I was a gallery owner, we used to say that the frame was like the pimp, and for the piece of artwork. And so the light and the frame for the light was supposed to be the thing that presented this, the art form. And so at any rate, had a great time with the concept, and had one heck of a time with the like actual realization of the thing all the way to the end. I kept it a secret through the video because like I wasn't sure if it was going to work at all. So I never showed it being what it was going to be until like the last minute when it all sort of came together, because that's pretty much when it came together. Like I didn't there was a possibility that there was going to be a quick abort. Sorry, Theo. Just kidding. I would have, like there was definitely like plan B, and it was, it was the understudy waiting just off stage.
Right.
Anyways, but thank you for inviting.
Yeah, of course.
Spotlight your video if you want to point to your thing in right there in the top corner. There it is.
That thing in the corner.
Illuminating.
Right to the one.
It came out so awesome. I think you're gonna have to come to Montana. We're gonna have to go collect a bunch of rocks, and I'm sorry, I know you just talked about how hard it was to make, but you're gonna have to make another one out of iris agate.
Yes, exactly. Iris agate.
Make an iris lamp.
That'd be insane.
I was thinking of the iris agate thing too, but there were like, I didn't have enough iris agates and they were too small.
Yep.
And so, I was like, okay, you know what? Go ahead and figure out how the heck you do it. And then you can
that
kind
is
of
an important first step.
Yeah. Because I think it would look fantastic, Kurt. That's a great idea. And I feel like I know the basics now, that I could make more of these, and am excited to do so. Like the first time through, I think everybody can kind of attest for this. The first time you were making a shadow box and like having to build up that, how deep to make it aesthetically pleasing for the thing that you're trying to present. Like all these little details are very hard the first time. And then like, you do a few and you're like, okay.
It's like the epoxy
That's
thing.
fun.
Yeah. It's like when you first do it, like you're hooked, and it was like,
exactly.
So yes, I'll come up to Montana and splurge on big. Can you imagine big, huge slabs?
Yeah,
like a gun, like big lamp,
awesome.
Because I bought a light that was one of those decor style lights that are the old timey ones that have the filaments that run all the way up it.
Oh
yeah, it's like this long tube that looks like an old, just an old timey big light, and it's and so at any rate, like you can have fun with even the kind of light bulb that you put inside to make sure that it shows it off. Anyway, it was exciting. Thanks.
Sorry, I was sneezing.
Your project was awesome. Like I was like, when I was watching it, every step I was just like, "Ooh, what's it gonna be? It's gonna be a wall decoration." And then Tess was also like, "No, keep watching it," because she watched it first, and it was like she was giving me hints as I was watching it, but I was blown away with how it turned out.
Thank you.
And so
it's funny. I love it. I think it's so cool. It's one of those things that everyone's like, you should make, like how cool would a slab lamp be? And I've like that's so cool.
Exactly.
I've thought about doing a slab lamp, but like same shape but different style. But that's why I was asking Kyle about the yellow cat agate piece that I have was for a lamp. Maybe in the future still, but I love your design with the wood and everything.
And what I thought was funny, because the whole video you kept us guessing until the very end on what it might be. It actually, funny thing, inspired like a new project idea that I'm going to be doing, because I thought it was going to be something completely different, and then it's like, oh, lamp, that's awesome. So I'm not gonna.
I'll do the other thing though. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm still okay. Well, that gave me a cool idea, but it definitely wasn't what I was expecting it to be.
That's awesome. Yeah. Run with the other thing. There were a lot of those in the comments that, people's guesses, like, how Rookie will oftentimes do a stream of consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
And so, at like 11:40, they're going like, I think it's this or whatever. And they were all good ideas. I'm like, I should totally do that.
yes. Like, come back for those later.
Yeah, totally.
So that means next year, go back to your comments.
Yes. You have a pool of ideas to pull from.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Pool of a pool.
A
Yes.
pool of pool.
Yes.
Sorry.
And let's see here, and then following your video was Quest for Details, and he
Yes,
made
sir.
a Jade Knife.
This was
So cool.
incredible.
That was so cool and so beautiful, especially with the backlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so awesome. That's such pretty material.
Mm-hmm.
I give him a lot of credit because he put a lot of fine details in that handle too. Like it's
Yeah.
Oh, the carving.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was so good. And he was another one, as far as kind of like Montana Rock Mom, really went through the concept and the aesthetic, his balance and all that kind of stuff that he wanted to infuse. And I loved, his walks into it, like through his garden and everything.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. What a treat. Like, it was
Yeah,
visually,
absolutely.
and the challenge itself with the whole thing was a real treat to watch.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think he did a fantastic job. And I think the fact that he did it on some pretty more simple equipment just speaks volumes.
Yep.
Just, I mean, that it came out so good.
It did.
anyone can do it.
Yeah. You don't need like
Yeah.
$3,000 worth of equipment to make that kind of stuff.
No,
You just need a tile saw and a Dremel and diamond files and you're good.
and elbow grease and time and determination.
Exactly.
But that kind of project, like he, if he hasn't already, just get like a little display and have like a little backlight behind the display, so like it just makes it
Yeah.
glow.
That material is so pretty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you did an awesome job.
Yeah.
And see here, Wednesday, April 6th, there's some dude named Kyle with World of Rock Hounds.
Never heard of him. This name is foreign to me.
Who's
And
Kyle?
I'm mad now.
Rah.
I don't like new things.
But I think I did my Fire Obsidian show until I think week before last. I think it was. But I'm gonna keep.
Again.
Yeah. I mean, I'll put it if I have a video on my computer. I still should. I'll just put it here, right on top of my face.
Whoa!
After I write down the time.
How'd you do that?
But
Holy crap!
I'm gonna leave it in. It's okay. FTC says it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. But so it was difficult because initially I was not going to do the Fire Obsidian. I had some other projects in mind, and I meant to do something months ago. Like by months, I mean sometime early last year after the last project. So I want to have something done out of the way just ahead of time and have it all done. I was either going to do the Little Mermaid, not Disney's Little Mermaid, but there is a Denmark statue of a Little Mermaid on the rock in the middle of the bay. I was going to do like a kind of like what I do with the poop and gnome, but with the mermaid instead.
Oh, cool.
But I just didn't have
Gets
time.
a girlfriend.
Yeah. Gnomes and mermaids. Who would have thunk?
Yeah.
Go together.
Like a PBJ.
Yeah.
And then I had a really cool idea to do like a I still don't want to say it because it's gonna be a cool project, but a very specific Gen 1 Pokemon out of stone.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
And I'm like,
I
oh
thought
man,
for
I would,
sure that's what was gonna happen.
maybe next
Yeah,
year.
that's what I thought
Maybe next
too.
year.
Either
Good.
next year or we can do that collab we were talking
Oh
about.
yes. So I was gonna say that
Heard it
for
here, folks.
yeah. People are gonna be like, what's going on? We have to know.
Patience,
Soon.
all in due time.
Yeah, in due time. But that project, I know that it's going to take some time to do, and with what I have in mind, it just time wise was not going to happen. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to do Obsidian, and I'll just do something else next year. But the thing is too, like when you work on projects, like you'll have one project in mind, and you've been working on that, and then all of a sudden, like, you're like, oh, I can do this too.
Like 3 other things pop into your brain
Yeah.
right when you start. Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you're working on stone, like, you're like in your own space. You're just kind of like, you're focused, but you also have your mind. Your mind's going places and like thinking about stuff. Like, oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. And then so, like, for me, typically it's like 1 out of those 10 ideas that I'm thinking of, like, as I'm working, really sticks, and the other ones I forget about. And so, like, if it's like a super big project, I'll write it down. But otherwise, like, out the window, it's gone. But
That's
yeah,
how it used to be for me. I started writing them all down, and I literally have a big notebook that I go to whenever it's project time, because I used to forget all of my ideas.
I'm getting to that point, and I think I mentioned this before, that I actually bought a little journal to kind of start keeping like certain projects in, because I have some cool ideas, a couple of which are Pokemon, but hey.
The quick little project hack behind here that you can't see during the podcast is a wall that has, of course, like a cork and whiteboard. And then also there are, I think there's 7 clipboards, and they all have projects on them. And they're hung on hooks, so I can go through and, if it's an order or if it's a project, and I, keep them in order, and that way I can take notes and all that kind of stuff. But they're in my face right now. It's hard to forget unless anyway, carry on. That's a hack, folks.
I didn't believe that there was anything on the other side of the screen.
Right. Like that's the edge.
We're
of
all
the
in middle,
right
like
there.
like parallel universe windows where there's nothing over here. It doesn't exist. It's not a real
No,
thing.
the audience is there.
We are just the little people on the screen. But yeah, my project was.
You miss me in my random, absolutely pointless nonsense.
They're all wondering how we went 40 minutes before we even got on here.
Oh, yeah.
This is why.
This is why.
It was nothing important, I assure you.
Yeah, you should probably feel bad for our guests, because a lot of times, like, we don't start like half an hour until like, our podcast starts at 7 o'clock, 7:30, 7:45 later. Oh, maybe we should start recording now.
They're sleeping,
It's like,
my project was Obsidian, so next year I might not have an Obsidian project, but we'll see. And then after. I think it was after my video came out.
Yep.
I think Mornay's video actually came out before mine. I can't remember for sure. But he did a fossil bone block, which was super cool.
So cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Articulated.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, you could just see like the little, pop-up windows of where they were. And oh my gosh, you guys have to watch that video, because the way that he preps it, and there's like that surprise, like possible date in there.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Such a good video.
It's amazing.
I think I watched it like 3 times.
I know.
Twice.
It's so cool. It's so stinking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, fossil preparation in itself is a very unique art, because you're bringing back to life essentially something that has been lost for I want to say eons, like just a very long time. It's
epics. Sure.
It definitely requires like a creative hand, and it's especially with the level of detail that man Lambo does. Like he's such a master when it comes to that air scribe. Like, it's insane stuff. It's
and
crazy.
acid.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's an incredibly difficult razor's edge to dance on, sharp, and talk about possibility for failure.
Yep.
And what you have to anticipate, the vision. You have to be able to see, like you're Superman, you look into the stone and you can see what's possibly there, so that you don't mess it up on your. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Like the I guess the can you imagine part is the failure aspect, like, oh, I could have had this thing that was really great. Thank goodness for glue. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Glue is our best friend.
But yeah, he's amazing, and that video was just another incredible presentation of that for sure.
It really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first started setting up like brainstorming for the very first Makers Challenge, it's funny because I think it may come to as a surprise for a lot of people because it's like, all right, the challenge is to make something, and then like one of the first channels that came into my mind was Mam Lambo, because what he does is rock wizardry. Like really it is. The stuff he does with that scribe is insane. So I was like, right off the bat, he was one of the first people that came to mind, and I was so happy to have him involved twice now.
He's blushing somewhere in New Zealand.
It is wizardry.
Yes.
And I didn't even like fully like have an entire grasp on it at the time, but now that I have an air scribe and have been using it for almost a year now, it's even more wizardry than I thought it was at the time before I got an air scribe. Like, Mam Lambo's a wizard. All right, that's all I have to say.
Thanks for coming, everyone, and
I'm done. That's it.
As we keep going,
we have more people.
Oh, okay.
More master.
Next was Thursday, April 7th, was Agadad, and he did some orbit ice stones, which is something that I wouldn't mind making myself at some point, because it seems to be something that anyone can use for relaxation.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're in the audience right now and you heard him say that, you're going, what the heck is he talking about? You want to do some splaining there, Kyle?
Rock donuts. I mean,
Pretty much.
Rock donuts for your eyes.
But no, it was actually really cool. So he took some, I think it was the orbicular jasper.
Yep.
Which is ironic, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And because he had posted like a little teaser, like, what do you think I'm working on? And like, I don't know.
Saw that too.
Like, I couldn't figure it out. Because like my first thought was like, are you making a bigger, badder like YouTube play button, like just a bigger one? But he's working on something smaller. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you working on there? But no, he drilled some holes in these stones, and he got them the exact same weight somehow.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, more rock wizardry.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Yeah, and so he got them to polished, and he put them in. I think he put them in the freezer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you just put them on your
fridge, I think.
Yeah. Maybe the refrigerator.
Yeah, I think you're right. It might be the fridge, but
you might actually give yourself burns.
Hurts your eyes.
But yeah, you have to go watch this video. But basically, he polishes these two stones, and you lay down. You put them on your eyes. They're nice, so they can chill. And
did you see the outtakes though?
Yeah, I did.
I was dying during the outtakes. It was fantastic.
Thank you for adding the bloopers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's another thing. Failures and bloopers are okay.
Show more bloopers. Everybody. Those were wonderful. I was dying. Yeah, I was just so impressed by how perfectly spherical he got those. Like, that's so hard to do. It's so hard to do. Like perfect shape.
Spherical and the same weight.
Yeah, that's a feat in and of itself.
Yeah. So good job, Agadad.
Good on you, man. Those things are sweet.
Yeah.
And
that
of
was
course,
super funny.
Couldn't have relaxing ice stones without having some dessert made out of rocks.
Right.
Rockhounding Life and family, they made a piece of cake out of all the various stones.
That was so awesome. That was fantastic. Alexis is like a master baker, and she was like loving every second of that video.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I like that the whole fam was down with that one as well. That it's just awesome when you can get the littles into the whole scene and into it and excited to be part of the project. Yeah.
I loved the idea of repurposing, because like I actually have those same things with the tiny little garnets and like tiny little pieces of emerald, tiny little sapphires and stuff like that. They don't have any gem value, so they kind of just sit there and you're like, what the heck do you do? Freaking sprinkles, that's what you do. Genius.
That was very good. That was very good. Oh man,
It was so cool.
it looked good, almost good enough to eat too. Like it.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
Like
it
at a
did.
glance, it looked like a real piece of cake until you actually look
did.
closer. You're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Or,
And they were
or until
beautiful
you take a
stones.
knife and like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Use the Jade Knife that Quest for Details did.
yeah,
Aw.
try to cut it at least.
And that was Thursday's videos. Now we go to Friday, April 8th. And so we're going to start with Rob over there at Michigan Rocks. And he made... Theo, can you help me out with this word here? Because
It's either oloid or oleoid.
Oleoid?
Oloid.
I'm sure people are in the comments are probably going, what are you guys
Yeah.
doing?"
Well, basically, it's an object that can't settle. Like the way it's shaped is, you set it down, or if it has any movement, it'll move. But the way it's shaped, it causes it to like move in a different direction. And they're awesome. And I think everyone should go down that rabbit hole because they are so freaking cool. And I love them. And I'm fascinated by them.
And that was a challenge.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
you know, watching him go through that challenge was really, really interesting, you know, because
Yes,
we
it
know
was.
how
Mhm.
really good he is.
Yeah.
And a few times he was like, "Nah," you know,
It
like,
was
"Ugh."
an absolute feat in problem solving. Like that was
Yes.
incredible.
And then it was amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah. It
Yeah, and
made
I
me
mean-
want to do one and not at the
Yeah.
same time.
At the same time. Yeah. It was so cool though.
I might be satisfied just watching, yeah. Or having one. Like maybe somebody else can make me one.
Yeah, no, that was just watching him do that. It hurt my brain a little bit. Like he hit them two cuts and then have that shape and like what's going on?
The engineering
should
behind
try.
it is just crazy.
But it turned out great. And
It's
did.
so
It did.
cool. Yeah.
just looking at the picture, like the thumbnail stuff, it looks like a stone that would be very pleasing to hold in your hand. It's
Yes.
just the shape of and
It looks like such
Yeah.
good palm stone.
yeah, just a little rock you keep in your pocket, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you roll it.
And
Oh
watch
wait,
it.
there's more. Yeah.
It is nature's fidget spinner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty
Without
There you
without
go.
this, it's well, I guess
It's an
nature,
eyeball spinner.
yeah, fidget roller. There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect name for it.
But yeah, it turned out great. And then Marlena Atkins, she did
I
something.
love this.
You want to talk about
Mhm.
repurposing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
That
No
was
flashlight
awesome.
in my house is safe now.
yeah.
Right? Yes. They all have
Like,
the mark.
broken. Yeah.
Yeah. Their days are numbered.
Yeah.
So yeah, she made a kaleidoscope out of a old flashlight, and I think it was an old mag light.
Yeah.
That was super cool. I'm like, you know,
So freaking cool.
That was extremely creative.
Yeah.
that's
Like-
something that anyone can do. Like literally, just
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in my comment I said that I didn't realize that that a person could make a kaleidoscope. I just assumed that there was some form of eldritch wizardry involved.
Yeah. The aliens brought them, you know,
Yeah.
on the regular, like
Cthulhu
Amazon
probably
for
has something
aliens.
to do with it.
Yeah.
So cool though, and it literally has
Mhm.
limitless potential. Like,
Yeah. Like
Anything.
right away, I'm like, okay, what am I making into a kaleidoscope?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's interchangeable.
Exactly.
You're just like, okay, I'm tired of these rocks,
yeah.
and then like load up with some new ones.
Play
She
with it
kept
for
on-
like ever.
She was posting up on, so there was her video, and then she was also posting up over on Instagram, like
Yeah.
because she was doing that, like,
Yeah.
okay, time for something new, like take some more pictures because you know
It's
you
so
would.
cool.
Yeah, and I was like, indulge us, you know.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
more. Yeah.
I absolutely
Okay.
adored that. It was so cool.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
And I want one in my life now.
Me too.
We all
I'm
need to
gonna
make
build
one.
one.
Yeah, I
Or
agree.
maybe make a
Yes.
hallway into that. I don't know.
There you go.
Just
Let's
take
see how
like
big we can make it.
a telescope.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my
Ooh, a
gosh, that'd be
telescope.
so
You know what I
cool.
used to have?
That'd be so cool.
I've trashed an old telescope.
You could have repurposed
Because
it.
you know how
Yeah.
you like finally get rid of stuff that you can't figure out
Yeah.
what to do with. Then I'm like, I could do something
And
with
then
this
a
old
solution
telescope.
Comes
Yeah,
the moment
and here
it's
it
gone.
comes.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, about 10 years later. But Don't throw anything away, everybody.
Ever.
Well,
Ever.
throw some things away. Don't.
was
I was
so
like, wait.
wise.
We're not endorsing hoarding on
Yeah,
the
we're not gonna endorse hoarding, but
No,
if it's
keep it
something,
all.
if it's something that can be utilized it. But if it's trash, throw it away. Like actual trash.
Yeah,
Well,
like
if it's recyclable, recycle it. So earth friendly stuff. If it's recyclable, recycle it. But if it's trash, like actual garbage,
Yeah, Earth Day
you
was
should
recently,
put like
so that's-
the credits like running down the screen really fast. That you should do. Okay.
Okay, so now we have Saturday, April 9th. And so we're going to start off with Rookie. And
Can I say really quick?
Yes.
His day was actually his birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
my
Oh,
son's
yeah.
birthday. Get out of here.
His maker's video was actually the same date as his
April
birthday.
9th.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I
I
remember
thought it was hilarious because I
I
was
gotta
talking
talk to
him,
him about that.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
So like
so weird.
I was planning stuff out and I like finally like got the dates locked in and I sent the schedule to him. He was like, "Oh my gosh, my day's on my birthday. That's awesome." Like, what?
Nice.
That's crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that's an awesome coincidence.
Yeah,
It
happy
is.
belated birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, so Theo, if you know how to pronounce this word, I'm gonna. Do you know how to pronounce it? Because I feel like I might butcher this a little bit. So I guess the terminology.
Oh,
It's a viewing stone, like in the
Yeah.
Japanese meaning of it, but I want to say it's suseki.
Suseki?
Suseki,
Yeah.
yep.
Suseki? Suseki.
Suseki.
That's it.
I
This is studio.
can't say it.
Yeah.
Who was I
Suseki.
kidding? But I just love the fact that he just took a natural stone, the way that it
Mhm.
was.
So satisfying.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple.
It really,
It's
it
so
really was.
satisfying. And I loved the texturing he did on the wood. It literally looks like waves coming up to a rocky
Yeah.
beach with a
Yeah.
big boulder. Like I loved it. It was so cool.
Totally.
Yep,
Yeah.
it was.
He just knocked that out of the park. And again, this was another one where there was this like fantastic rich story
Mhm.
Yes.
that
Mhm.
was part of the entire process. The
Yeah.
wood that he used had such a neat story, and the way
Mhm.
it was all done with such reverence,
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
such
absolutely.
celebration for that stone.
100%.
Yeah, you could really feel it. It was the success was in nailing what that stood for. He
Yeah.
was able to create something that defined it,
Mhm.
met the definition of what the concept, the original Japanese concept is for that.
So
It's
cool.
fantastic. I've always
Mhm.
wanted to do one. It's one of those things where, boy, I'm glad that somebody else did that. You go first,
Yeah.
like because really it's like the bonsai, it's
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
same
Yep.
aesthetic and the wabi sabi of the
Mhm.
balance of
Mhm.
the aesthetic and the rustic and the natural, all these different balances,
Mhm.
and he got it.
Yeah.
He
oh,
totally
absolutely.
got
Yeah.
it.
And I had no idea where he was going with it as we were chatting
Needed.
for the like couple weeks before while everyone was still brainstorming or creating, and he was saying that he was going to mix two of his passions, which is rocks and bonsai, and that instantly he didn't want to tell me what it was, which I didn't want spoilers anyway, but I was like, oh man, you already piqued my interest, like what is this going to be? And yeah, it was so cool, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's funny how something like so simple, when you break it down just at a glance, it's so cool. I can't even like find
Mhm.
words to describe how cool it is, because you can just turn something, like the more you analyze it, it just gets deeper, and like you can just see this perfect little micro scene, and it's just so very zen. Like there's something
Yeah.
just so satisfying about it that's really hard to put into words.
Yeah.
And that's
I love it.
exactly what it's
Mhm.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Zip it and just look at
It's
it.
so chill. I love it.
But yeah, if you want to go down a fun rabbit hole, folks, not only go check out Jesse Rookie Rockhounding's video on this, but do a Google search on this thing, because the art show that, especially if you're into rocks, take one of those special rocks that you have and make it into a viewing stone of your own.
Absolutely.
This is something that is attainable, and then at the same time, like Roof. Roof over there was saying it's like, it's simple, but it's not.
Yeah.
Start playing with it and you'll see. And I liked that Jesse exuded that as well. There was a lot of thought that looks, how do you go about making something look effortless?
Exactly.
A lot of thought.
It's like when you have to make something look random. It's like for some reason your brain automatically starts making a grid.
Yeah.
It's hard to take the human hand out.
Yeah, exactly.
But also in that video, in the description, I believe he had put a link to another video that goes more into the depth of like the history of
Yes, he did.
why that's the thing, and it's a very interesting watch, and it's actually very, very interesting. I watched the whole thing, and it's kind of sad in a way too. I don't want to get too many spoilers, but basically, like it was a Japanese tradition, and they would go out and find these stones. There used to be like, this is like basically paraphrasing. There used to be these amazing gardens with these stones in there that, like, I feel like emperors and like other like higher ups basically like pay a stupid amount of money for like these rocks just put in these gardens, but they are beautiful gardens. But they had wars that happened, and they had destroyed these gardens and they broke down these beautiful rocks that were in the gardens to use for catapults to demolish whatever they were attacking. So you can only imagine like what those gardens could have possibly looked like, and it's hard to know. But yeah, Jesse did an awesome job with his video.
Absolutely.
So, yes, he did.
Sometimes simple is better, and it also goes to show that you do not have to always polish rock to show its beauty.
Absolutely.
Yep, agreed.
Easy for us to say when we're always polishing stuff on machines, but
Let's take the polish,
that's all of them, right?
No, we still have one more person, and that person is none other than Theo Kellison.
So I started this one actually for the last Makers Challenge, not like last spring, but the Fall Makers Challenge. And I quickly realized there was no way I was going to have enough time to get it done. So I did napping instead. So I had a good amount of the way done. Well, not really. I had the most basic of starts on it. I don't know why I said I had it most of the way. I had it trimmed. That's it. I hadn't started any carving yet. And oh my gosh, I was so happy to have this owl done.
So pretty.
My longest carving.
Very beautiful.
What's up?
Can we call it the Cosmic Owl?
That's perfect.
That
Kyle
works.
needs that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah. I think Cosmic Owl works for me. I'll just call him Cosmo. I actually haven't named him yet, so Cosmo.
Aww.
Yes.
And I've never done I've done wood carvings this size and a little bigger. I've never done stone carving of this size, but secondarily, I was really never done stone carving of this size of rock as hard as labradorite. Like it was a very stubborn, slow going project, but it was very, very well worth the effort. It took quite a long time to finish.
Oh, because
So
labradorite is not just hard, but it's hard and soft at the same time.
But it's hard and it wants to break apart.
Cleavage.
Yeah, that cleavage was actually. Can you see where the repairs were?
No.
Exactly. Right there. He had a perfect blowout on one of his ears.
Glue.
Actually, I did something called patching, which I was super mad. I was like almost done with the process, and I'm like, I'm not recording this. Why the heck am I not recording this? I should have recorded this so I can teach people how to fix them. So I'm going to do an entire separate video on patching for carvings because it's actually really, really handy. So you basically take whatever the rock is. I literally took scrap from the labradorite. You crush it, and then you lay some CA so that anything that touches it sticks. And you literally just crumble it in and fill all the gaps so that it's like sticking way out. And then you just carve it back down. And yeah, you literally can't tell.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
It's called patching.
I've done that before. And
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's either try to patch it or you start over, and it's not worth it. So it's like,
Patching is a great answer to stuff like that.
and some stones, like depending on the color and the type of stone and the pattern, sometimes you can't even tell it's there at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think I did one out of sodalite, either sodalite or lapis. I forgot which one it was.
Interesting.
And you can't even tell that there's a pair there because just the way that it blended together.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
exactly. Labradorite is good for that because it's got all the like white wispies and the green patches, and there's just so much texture inside of labradorite that you really don't notice the little tiny patch on his ear.
I feel like wispies is a very whimsical word.
It is.
I've done the same thing, but not with stone. I've done it with a suede mat board when shadow.
Oh, sweet.
Because
Hey.
suede has that velvety, soft material. If you take a razor blade and just shave it, little fuzzies come off. So when you're needing to repair a mat board from a scuff mark, you can lay some glue, and then sprinkle those things on there and just kind of pat it. Or if you take a
that's
similar mat board, same thing. What you're talking about, but not with stone.
I actually learned about it through wood carving, because sometimes when you get like little blowouts, the best way to fix that kind of stuff is you take wood and you get a bunch of dust from that same wood, and then you fill it in and just put like a little drop of glue and then sand it flush, and you just gets rid of it. So it's like the same process, just with stone.
Ta-da!
Little tip: a lot of things with wood, like carving and woodworking, actually overlap with lapidary, and it's very helpful. So,
Only difference is the material. It's basically a lot
exactly.
of it's the same processes.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing that made this so tricky to do compared to most of my other carvings was the fact that I did all of the rough shaping on a freaking angle grinder. That was definitely a first for me. It was pretty weird. Like, I don't know, it's weird how it's so different, but like if you have something in your hands like a Dremel, like a rotary tool, you know how you gotta work stuff. Like it feels comfortable. But for some reason, when you take a big device that you're holding like this,
It's not comfortable.
it becomes very tricky about how you're gonna like plot out how to make the thing.
Oh, and then if you are standing at a very bad angle, you're gonna have a bad back for a few days because
This arm was in so much pain because I actually got to a point where I had to sit down because I couldn't clamp this. So I had to hold this with one hand and hold my angle grinder with one hand while it's running. And so I could like do the shaping with it. And it was very uncomfortable. My arm hurt for literally like 5 days after that.
I get it.
Wow. Don't do this at home, kids.
No.
Don't try that at home.
I'm a trained professional.
Right.
But I'm happy with it. I mean, the camera's probably not going to pick it up very well, but there's so much bright, colorful flash. Oh, there's some gold pop.
Yep.
Here, let me showcase your. There we go. There you
There
go.
we go. The gold. It looks like I'm like
Attacking.
Sorry. I love how I do that like seconds after saying I'm a trained professional. I'm a trained professional. I take everything very seriously. Sorry.
If you're from Paris, l'erreur.
L'erreur.
Bad joke.
That's okay. There's such a pretty teal patch up here. I can't. Yeah, that's probably not gonna show.
No, there's a little flash there.
I kind of
Yeah.
saw
Go
a
watch
Yeah, there's a
the
color.
video to see the flash because I show it way better in that. Also, I think I said it in the video when I finished when I finished all of the carving, I literally said, "All right, we are now halfway done." Like, because the polishing took forever because I did not have the right things that I needed, which are stuff for flats. I only had Nova points, so for like the spaces in between the feathers where the Nova points wouldn't reach, most of the feathers actually, his chest, his head, because Nova points don't like slight contours. They're made for like extreme contours. So I could do the face, pretty much the entire face, and some of the feathers. I did all the feet with Nova points, but I literally had to use sandpaper to polish this entire thing,
Yikes.
and it was
Wow.
miserable.
Mhm.
And I think I think I might
imagine.
have cut it out of the video. I had over 200 hours on this owl.
Oh my gosh.
My hand is cramping just thinking
Insane.
about that. It's like, oh,
It's
God.
priceless. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I get
Bad
a lot of
point.
people that ask me why I don't sell stuff like this. It's like I could never make a return, is why.
Yeah.
No.
Because to get my time back, this would be like a $10,000 carving, and it ain't worth that much.
Yeah, that's yeah. That just like quickly. I keep thinking about this because we make a lot of stuff out of stone, and it takes a lot of time for certain projects.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was thinking about this when I went to a chain store, and they had like stone jewelry that's out there, and they have it on sale for like stupid cheap. It's like sometimes those big box stores ruin it for us as far as pricing goes, because like there are things that take hours upon hours, and if people want,
Days.
and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Months.
it's hard to
Years.
yeah, it's hard to justify doing custom projects that take that long. It's like, look, I can't do a custom project for you that would be fair to you or myself for pricing just because of how long
Yep.
this project will take.
Exactly.
And I wish more people would really know the amount of time that actually it does take for certain projects, and
Yeah.
why a lot of us, we do these huge, big projects or expensive projects, but we don't sell it. We keep it for ourselves because it's hard to really justify selling something you put that much of yourself into.
Right.
Yeah,
And you'd
exactly.
get sticker shock. Like,
Yeah.
and we don't mean
Yeah.
to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
but I mean,
like-
it's
like
it's
that.
true. Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
charge
exactly.
for that.
I plan on selling mine, but there's little things that are driving me freaking crazy that I gotta take apart and just change it a little bit and put it back together, and then I'll sell it.
I mean, and I do sell carvings. It's not like
Mhm.
it's like I don't sell any carvings. I do sell carvings. It's just I sell carvings on stuff that I carve out of like septarians. I love carving septarians because it's so willingly shaped. I love carving soapstone because it's a freaking dream to work with, and you can
Yeah.
get stuff done so quick with it. I've done some small labradorite carvings that went pretty quick. Like I literally carved an ammonite out of and engraved sutures and everything. That was cool.
Aw, that
Yeah,
sounds
those-
really
Super cool.
Little things like that go super fast, but there's nothing fast about this.
No.
It is a grind from start to finish, and there's no amount that I can charge that is ethical and still make a return
Right.
Yeah.
for the amount of time that goes into it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't want to sound like that guy, but if you want like stuff made out of stone, just for like carvings that look like they came from overseas or outside the states, just get those, because unless you're going to pay $10,000 for something that that's
Yeah.
taken us like months
Yeah.
to get done, like it's just fair for everybody else. Because
It's like if you want to support a craftsman for something like that, don't expect like to support them with like $50 because it's not. Yeah, if you go in expecting to spend like $100 on something like that, you're going to be sorely mistaken and very upset when they're like, "No, you're like a whole zero short."
yeah. Well, the other thing is too, and I touched upon this, I think the podcast before last. It's not the shaping of the stone that takes forever. It's the polishing part that takes the
Yeah,
longest. 'cause
exactly. Absolutely.
we're aiming for, I wouldn't say perfection, but we're aiming for a really nice looking product. And to do that, polishing takes time.
It does.
And for me, even with the 280 grit wheel that I have, I feel like they just wear down to the point where it just takes longer and longer to get all those fine scratches out from the hard diamond wheels. That 280 wheel takes the longest out of the entire process, because after that, then you go to the 600, 1200, and then after that, it's easier and easier. But when you have carvings, then you have to get those little areas.
It's a nightmare.
Or if you're working with like a large stone that has like multi facets on, like, okay, I'm done sanding this side, now I have to go to this side. Is having to keep track of like all the different sides and all the nooks and crannies. Like, okay, did I get that part? And then if you're working the stone wet, you have to dry it off so you can actually see all like those scratch marks that will actually show themselves when the stone is completely dry.
That's the longest part right there. You just said it. Like when you're working stone like this wet, you can't tell if you've gotten rid of all the scratches or not. So you have to do a little bit, because it's way faster to just focus on one spot and just focus on that spot. So you get it wet, you work it wet, and then you have to dry it off and look at it. If there's still scratches, you repeat that process over and over and over, and it takes so long.
But it's worth it.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally worth it. I don't want it to sound like it's a miserable process. It's tedious, and I say that in all of my carving videos. What I'm doing is not hard. It's just very tedious.
It's tedious. Be patient. Get put on your best playlist and start working.
Just get zen and just find your flow. Because the first one may be annoying, but like the feathers are a great example. Like the thinking about it is hard, but man, you get into a rhythm once you get going. Like you just bust them out past a certain point, they go really quick. Stuff like that is it's just carving.
Yeah. Well, thank you for showing us your cosmic owl, which we're now calling Cosmo, and
Cosmo.
Also thank you for putting together the Makers Challenge number 3, and thank you to all the artists that can put up the videos and showed us their awesome creations throughout the entire weekend.
Absolutely. Huge shout out to everybody that took part. You guys are all rock
Thanks for all the treats. Yeah.
So the question is, do you have a list lined up for the 4th edition for later this year?
I have a twist.
Oh, he's twisting.
I am twisting, and I'm not going to talk about it yet, but know that it's juicy, and know that the list is going to be big.
Ooh, wow.
Oh.
I'll tell you guys after the podcast is over, but we're not going
Great.
yet.
Like, I cannot wait.
Okay.
Let's end now.
Yeah. It's like,
Stop
Andy,
recording.
We're done.
tell me.
We're done, right?
Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to words of wisdom.
Perfect. My words of wisdom are stay healthy.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect.
Drink your OJ.
All of that. Stay
your
healthy
vitamins.
out there. Yep. Don't get sick.
Yeah, don't get sick.
Yeah.
And if you are sick, sharing is
home.
not always caring.
Yeah.
No, that's the words of wisdom. Sharing is not always caring. If you're sick, keep it to yourself.
Stay home.
Yeah. Stay home.
Yeah.
So that's my words of wisdom. Sharing is not always caring.
I'll stick with what Karen said. Stay healthy, but pick up your trash when you go out rock hounding.
That too.
Don't be that guy or gal.
Mine would kind of tie off of my projects and stuff, and I think it's just a good code to live by when you're making things, and that's don't ever settle for good.
For best.
Always push yourself like past your comfort zone, because you can never improve until you like really pass through that boundary. Like 4 years ago, I would have thinking about making this would have just hurt my brain to the point where I wouldn't have even like tried. I was doing carving 4 years ago, but not on this scale. So yeah, I mean, every time you push yourself, the next one becomes easier and easier, and the rate at which you advance at any given skill is just astronaut. It's exponential if you just keep What are we doing?
Sorry.
Sorry. I was looking at something
Sorry.
on your screen. I was just like, what is that?
No, I can't
but
follow
never mind,
that up.
sorry.
I'm done. I can't follow that up.
It is time-
Thanks to everyone for coming.
Yeah, talk to you later. Peace out.
Can we just do an entire podcast like
Sure. We should. Just
I'm
I
so
could,
down.
but my camera's like 2 feet away. Just like,
You're just like craned forward.
What you need is a big magnifying glass so that you just become really large.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just the eyes. That would
Yeah.
be great.
That would.
aye,
It's like-
Captain. But that does it for our words of wisdom. Karen, if you do the honors to take us out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for this evening, afternoon, morning, depending on when it is for you. Make sure to hit us up in our email for an invite to the Discord and or for send us your beautiful pictures of those recent really awesome finds, and we will put you in for the next viewer show and tell, which will be coming up as soon as you fill our email box full of those wonderful treasures. That all being said, get out there, unless you're not healthy, get out there and
Stay
find some
inside.
cooler stuff. Rock on, and we will see you next week. And join us that next week when Theo says,
I'll tell the story about how my grievous injury. Bye.
Rock on.
Bye.